Be sure to subscribe for more content.
What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome to the BigBC Finance Channel, and I hope you're having a very lovely day. So in today's video, we're going to be talking all about Luna Classic, what has happened to it recently, and where we predict the price to go to in the near future, as well as a longer term price prediction based on a pattern that I'm seeing here on Luna Classic that if you're holding Luna Classic, if you're bullish on Luna Classic, you'll definitely want to see, because it's pretty exciting. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. And of course, if you appreciate the daily analysis on this channel and you're one of the 86% of people that watch my videos that have not yet subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you do like this content. So without further ado, let's talk about Luna Classic by getting those annotations back on the screen. We're going to be talking about the short-term stuff first, what has happened over the past day. And over the past day, nothing too substantial has happened. Of course, it's been basically trading within this grey box, ranging between this price range at around 16.8 cents to 18.9 cents here on Luna Classic. So really nothing too much has happened. We've been just going in some sort of sideways motion here. Where's my arrow? There it is. We've been basically going in a motion like this, and we're always on the lookout for chart patterns. And of course, these aren't always perfect. I did have a chart pattern drawn up yesterday that pretty much got invalidated. It kind of went something like this, connecting this downwards trend like this, but eventually it didn't really play out to the upside. And we've come back down below this blue line here. So, you know, like I say, these chart patterns aren't always perfect, but we're always on the lookout for them, because if they do end up playing out, then we should get a very nice price target from it. So one of the chart patterns that I'm looking at the moment is something that looks like this. Again, might not be perfect, but I'm on the lookout for it, because if it does play out, then we should get a decision within a few hours here on Luna Classic, because as you can see, the price is nearing the end of this triangle. So if we do see a breakout, then I'll be looking for this kind of price target from it. So the price target here of this triangle would be something in the region of 20.2 cents here. And if we break down from that triangle over the next few hours, then we should see a price target of 14.4 cents. Now, when I say a breakout and a breakdown, we're looking for an increase in momentum. So candles, large green candles that look something like this if we break to the upside, or if we break to the downside, large red candles like this, for example. And we want to see an increase in volume on this indicator down here. So we want to see the volume go up. So that's what I'm looking for as a breakout. And additionally, it doesn't have to be a straight line either. It doesn't have to do this, for example, over the course of 1 hour. It definitely well could. So if I take you back over here, for example, we actually did see a massive pump here in the space of just 1 hour. That was like a 20% pump on Luna Classic. So we definitely could see something like that. But at the same time, I guess what I'm saying is we also want to be patient. So if we don't see that price hit immediately, then do not fret, because if the triangle does end up playing out, then we should see it over the course of several hours to several days like that, for example. So that's really the short-term triangle that I'm monitoring. Of course, just looking at the broader crypto markets and everything, you can see that everything is in the same state here as Luna Classic. Things are very quiet. Not too much is happening. On Bitcoin, for example, we're still in this triangle here. So we drew this triangle actually yesterday, and basically we're still in this triangle. So, you know, if it is respected, a decision has to be made again in several hours. Prices on Bitcoin have been very steady. As you can see, since we talked about Bitcoin yesterday, the price hasn't moved above 16,700 or below 16,500. So very tame price action, less volatile than the stock market has been this week. So really unusual for Bitcoin. And again, it just goes to show how much everyone is waiting to see what happens with this FTX bankruptcy. Will they dump more cryptocurrencies onto the market, lowering the prices, etc, etc. So this is why I think Bitcoin price has been so steady sideways. Of course, with the triangle, we should see a breakout to the upside or to the downside here on Bitcoin. And if we do indeed see this triangle play out, then we should see similar behavior on Luna Classic as well. So if we see bearish action, price action on Bitcoin, we should see it on Luna Classic as well. And if we see a bullish price action, if we see a breakout from that triangle, then we can see Luna Classic head higher. And if we break through this training range that Luna Classic has been in over the past week, then that is extremely bullish. And if nothing happens, so no chart patterns are respected, and the price continues to do this, I do expect the price to continue down on a trajectory like this. And this leads me up to my point about my longer term price prediction, because, you know, if we take a step back, I normally talk about very short time frames here on this channel. So we're normally on the 1 hour charts on Luna Classic. But if we take a step back and we go on the 1 day chart, and basically if we have a look at Luna Classic from afar, look at this at the moment. We can basically draw a trend line. So that was the green line that you saw on my screen, the extra one that popped up out of nowhere. This is the trend line that kind of connects the low of Luna Classic. So if we ignore everything, you know, before the Luna crash back in May in this direction, basically since Luna became Luna Classic, we've seen this trend line kind of hold up the price here. Literally, if we extend this, the price has never dropped below this trend line. And what you'll notice is that the price has come down to this level so many times. So if I just get rid of the volume there, price has come down to this level so many times. In this occasion here, you know, it's come to this occasion like 3, 4, 5 times if you zoom into that region there. We've got one place where it came down to touch this line and shoot back up. We've got this region here. So we've got 4 regions at the moment, and now we have our 5th region with that price right after the FTX fallout come down to this line again. So basically, if the price gets down to this level, this is literally a historical support that we have on Luna Classic that the price has never gone down below before. So if history repeats itself, then we could see a scenario where the price starts on a more bullish trend. So if we have a look at this region here, for example, right after the price bounced off the support, we see prices shoot up, and obviously if we did manage to catch that, then that's, you know, 170%. That's literally almost tripling your money in that region. Same for this region here. You know, if we caught this region where price comes to touch the support here on the 21st of August, yeah, I don't even need to measure this. You guys know how big that pump was, but if we do measure it, you know, 550% there on Luna Classic. That's literally 6.5x from it touching the support line. So if history repeats itself touching the support line, you know, and of course, if we look in the previous examples, in each time Luna Classic has touched this green line here, we've seen the price hover around it a bit. So not a quick touch like this, although if you do manage to trade that, for example, if we do manage to trade it from touching this green line, we would have gone, you know, up 50% from the absolute bottom there. So never a bad trade. But if we see the price do something like this, so let me go back on the 1 hour chart. If we come back to this green line here, and you know, the price just hovers in the region just above the green line, then that is pretty bullish, because, you know, that's what it did in history as well. Price kind of just bounced off this green line, as we saw with the regions I highlighted. And historically speaking, that has been a signal for a new trend on the Luna Classic. So, you know, over the past month or so, we could say that Luna Classic has just been in this overall downtrend from the very top there. And this area here where I've circled, has been the precursor for an upcoming bull run. So, you know, if the price comes down to this green line and just stays around there, that's extremely bullish, because that tells us that Luna Classic is being set up for another bull run. Of course, it could look like this, where we see 150% gains, or it could look more like this, where we see 550% gains. Of course, it all depends on a lot of variables, but if we see the prices come down here, then that's a very good sign, particularly if they hover, because then we can get another region like the previous regions. And of course, we could see something like this where Luna Classic starts its next leg up. And obviously, I'm really excited to see that happen if we do see a breakdown from this triangle. So I'm really excited to see that happen. And of course, first we do need to get there. So, you know, the fact that we could potentially break down to lower levels at 14 cents is not even a bad thing here on Luna Classic, because if we get to this green line and we just hover around there, that's always been the precursor here for a massive bull run on Luna Classic. So of course, if we do see this happen, you know, if we see the price hover down where this green line is going in this upward direction here, then obviously I will put that on my trading view, and I will let you know my thoughts when we get there, what I think is going to happen in the future. So be sure to follow me on my trading view. The link is in the description below. But just a word of warning as well, guys, if we do see the price hover in this area, but we do see a break below this green line here. So let's say the prices did get down to this region here, but we actually see the price considerably break below this green line. I would expect quite an increase in volume and an increase in momentum. But if we see prices break below this green line, then that is very bad. That should be seen as a very bearish sign, because this has been our support on Luna Classic since Luna Classic began to exist. So if we break below, that is an extremely bad thing that we do not want to see. And of course, I will not be holding any Luna Classic if the price does something like this. I will literally sell my holdings and not buy until we find a reasonable bottom, because up until this point, this green line is our reasonable bottom here on Luna Classic. So those are my thoughts. That's my word of caution. If we do break below this green line, that is extremely bearish. So that's my longer term kind of vision. Of course, I don't think we're going to get there within a day or two, but over the course of a few weeks, we could potentially see the price continue to head down, particularly if this FTX drama unravels in a negative way. We'll just see the price of Luna Classic kind of do something like this. I can definitely imagine that. But like I say, that's not a bad thing, particularly if we do hover in this area, because like I say, it's a setup for a potentially bullish move to happen here on Luna Classic. So if it does follow this line to a T, then that would be towards the end of November, start of December, before we see bullish action here on Luna Classic. So that's my longer term observation, really. On the shorter term, I'm still monitoring, like I say, that triangle. I'm just monitoring the whole crypto market at the moment. I'm just looking for any potential breakouts, particularly on Luna Classic, on Bitcoin as well, because I follow Bitcoin a lot now. and just any other cryptocurrencies that I follow, such as Ethereum. So again, we're seeing some sort of triangle pattern on Ethereum that could potentially warrant a breakout. So literally, I'm just watching this consolidation pattern on all the cryptocurrencies that I follow. And if we do see a breakout, then I definitely will be trading that. So exciting times ahead if we do see these triangles. Of course, again, they could be just like completely disrespected and we could just see the price do something like this. So yeah, just be aware of that. But otherwise, that's pretty much all I have to say in this video about Luna Classic. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you did enjoy it, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching my videos. Have a great weekend and I'll see you in my next video.